Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. I guess beginning the memes of he was Kang. Jonathan Majors has been found guilty of reckless assault and harassment was what he's been found guilty of. So, yeah. Not found guilty of all of them, but been found guilty of some of them. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Now, the likelihood is that Disney will recast. The high likelihood is that they will recast. Why? Because they do this. This is what they do. I mean, they recast when people are just accused. It was surprising that they didn't recast when this chap was accused. I'm not saying that they should have, but just based on past experiences, you think that they would, but they didn't. Now, I know there'll be lots of people battling out in the comment section saying he wasn't guilty and he is guilty, etc. I think it's awful when people lie, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. I can understand why people were batting for him, because there's been a lot of toxic women, shall we say, out there lately. So, you know, I understand it. The justice system is played out now, and the jury, because it is a jury of his peers, found him guilty. So let's take a look, ladies and gents. Hit subscribe if you're new here. It has been an interesting trial to follow, because, yeah, there's just been lots of evidence which didn't look particularly great towards him. There was evidence that didn't look particularly great towards his girlfriend either, or ex-girlfriend. But, yeah, let's take a look. So, we've got the Manhattan DA's statement as well, which we'll get to in a minute. But Jonathan Majors has been found guilty of reckless assault and harassment in his domestic violence trial. So, there's a New York City jury of 3 men and 3 women just delivered the verdict on the Loki actor after less than 3 days of deliberation. So, not exactly a long time. Once touted as an Oscar contender for his now shelved magazine Dreams movie, I doubt that movie's going to come out now. Could be looked up to. He could have a year behind bars. I doubt that's going to happen. That would be like I don't know if they do suspended sentences over there, but he's not going to get a year behind bars. It's just not likely. So the actor was facing a total of 4 misdemeanor charges, and Majors was not found guilty of intentional assault in the 3rd degree. So that's important, by the way, guys. As well as not guilty of aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree against then-girlfriend Jess Jabari in the incident in late March. So he wasn't found guilty. Okay, he was not found guilty of aggravated harassment and intentional assault. Not guilty on those things. So sentencing has been set for February 12th. After delivering the verdict, Judge Michael Gaffey reminded Majors that he was still under a protective order to avoid all contact with Jabari. Arrested and promptly released on March 25th. He entered a not guilty plea to the charges. So as the verdict was read today, Monday, Majors stood facing the jurors and remained completely still with his hands clasped, his face expressionless. I want absolutely no reactions in the courtroom, no outbursts, Judge Michael Gaffey said before the verdict was read. Majors' family members and supporters in the first 2 rows also listened in silence as the jury 4-person pronounced Majors guilty on 2 counts and not guilty on 2 others. As Gaffey thanked the jurors, Majors sat between his lawyers and faced straight ahead. The Bible, notepad, ceramic cup he'd brought to court daily rested on the table in front of him. So here's what the statement from the DA. At the Manhattan's DA office, we are committed to centering survivors in all of our work. It's a weird way of saying it. Never mind. The evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological and emotional abuse and escalating patterns of coercion. Far too common across the many intimate partner violence cases we see each and every day. Today, a jury determined that pattern of abuse and coercion culminated with Mr. Majors assaulting and harassing his girlfriend. Okay, interesting. So we thank the jury for its service and the survivor for bravely telling her story despite having to relive her trauma on the stand. Now, this was 8 days of testimony in Judge Gaffey's Manhattan courtroom. The jury was left to weigh starkly different accounts of what happened between Majors and Jabari during a car ride home that instead ended at a downtown sidewalk in the middle of the night. They also heard very different versions of what went on in the Majors' Chelsea apartment with an apparently injured Jabari on the night. So, following closing arguments by the defense and Manhattan DA, the jury went behind closed doors around 3:30 p.m. on December 14th. later that day. So they also they wanted some more evidence as well. So they requested to have the charges read aloud to them again, as well as have audio and video from the late March incident between Majors and Jabari played for them. After some confusion about what exactly the video the jury wanted to see, Gaffey read the charges and the material was played in court. So they just wanted the evidence redone. Odd, really, but never mind. I mean, at least they were trying to be thorough. And it is interesting. So no video from inside the car. There was some commentary from, Jonathan Majors' defense attorney saying that we had it. They never had that, by the sounds of it. Never had that at all. Both witnesses for the prosecution, but with contradictory recollections to go on. There was a lot of sometimes subjective video of the couple on the street. This could have gone either way, quite frankly, from the evidence, I think. We didn't cherry pick witnesses. Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Kelly Galloway said in closing arguments, "We want you to hear the whole truth. Control, domination, manipulation, and abuse were how Majors kept Jabari in check." Galloway added in her closing arguments. On the defense side, Majors' main lawyer, Priya Chowdhury, called Jabari a liar in her closing argument and said the authorities bought her white lies, her big lies, and all her pretty little lies. Sounds like a song. Stating that the accuser engaged in so-called revenge partying against Majors, Chowdhury added to the jurors, "This entire case is built on Grace's lies, and boy, does Grace lie." So, I mean, what does this mean now for Jonathan Majors? Like I said, I mean, he's probably done. He is probably done. His PR firms dropped him. His management dropped him. Film roles he's missed out on some film roles and ad campaigns. They've been put on pause. WME stayed with the actor apparently, but I'd imagine they will. So yeah, that's talent agency, isn't it? I guess, or management, PR, WME. Yeah. I mean, he's probably done. He's probably done. Now, it's not to say he can't come back. As an FYI, I mean, Deadline speculates the verdict's impact on what remains of Major's career prospects is uncertain. But what is known is that the trial itself revealed a trunkload of details that Major's lawyers had fought tooth and nail to keep private. And this is that sort of weird commentary about who's going to delete himself and his girlfriend needed to be like Michelle Obama and like weird things like that. And he's like, "I'm a great man." All this kind of... It was very, very strange. Yeah. Yeah. Now, they say this, in terms of Jonathan Majors with today's verdict, things might just be beginning. I guess so. I mean, we don't really know, to be honest. Because there was other people, apparently. But that was the other thing. The DA did say, so this is, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. The DA did say that they had other witnesses, but that didn't happen, did it? I think this is him and his ex. But I will say this, look. That all happened pretty, in March, and then he was with this new girl pretty quickly, so he probably was messaging that girl, wasn't he? Let's be honest. Seems pretty cut dry. Look, he's guilty. As he's been found guilty anyway. He was Kang. Bad news. Going to be recast, I would imagine. Leave your thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.